supposed to talk on PD First initiative. Unfortunately, as Rajesh already mentioned, that many of our technicians, they are not aware of peritoneal dialysis. However, I believe they should know basics about peritoneal dialysis, because many times what happens, a patient while getting a hemodialysis, they ask a question about peritoneal dialysis to a technician as well. And if they are able to answer that, it gives more confidence to the patient, and it also gives the knowledge from care providers' perspective as well. So what I'm going to do today, my talk will be divided into 5 different parts. So first is options of RRT. You may be surprised why I'm talking about options of renal replacement therapy. But honestly speaking, in my experience, I've seen many people actually do not give all the options to a patient. So some center who do not do transplant, they do not talk about that. Right? So some nephrologists who might not be experienced in peritoneal dialysis may not even give an option of peritoneal dialysis, which is not correct. And that is why technicians also should know what are different options available to patients who have end-stage kidney disease. My second part will be obviously how does peritoneal dialysis work, because these technicians who are used to handle hemodialysis, what is the difference and how does peritoneal dialysis work, and they can compare that with hemodialysis. Finally, obviously, while giving an option, patient's reflex question is, okay, doctor, you have given me 2 options. Which dialysis is better? So I'll try to focus whether one or the other dialysis is better to each other or not. And then I'll also have a slide why hemodialysis is a preferred modality, or why hemodialysis is more common as compared to peritoneal dialysis. And then a certain decision tree which was made by Peritoneal Dialysis Society of India under chairmanship of Professor Abraham and Dr. Gupta, which I'll highlight, which will give a route or a path how we can do a PD First initiative. So let's see option of renal replacement therapy. So there are 3 options which I usually tell to the patients. One is dialysis, another is transplant, and the third is no renal replacement therapy. Obviously, the third one is very selective, and very few patients who are extremely terminally ill, very aged, and the family doesn't want to continue with any aggressive treatment, they fall into no renal replacement therapy. All others do fall into these 2 modalities, which is dialysis and transplant. Now, in dialysis, I always tell them there are 2 forms of dialysis. One is hemodialysis and another is peritoneal dialysis. So who makes this decision what modality is good for that patient? Is it nephrologist or patient's caregiver? That is an important question. So here, what I see, modality of choice depends on, number one, nephrologist's choice predominantly. Why? Out of his experience. So if somebody is more experienced in hemodialysis, or somebody like myself, or maybe Dr. Abraham and Dr. Gupta, they will always tell peritoneal dialysis is the first choice for renal replacement therapy. There might be biases. Even now, there are many people, many nephrologists who consider peritoneal dialysis as a kind of a reserve or a last resort kind of treatment, which is not correct. And the third issue was reimbursement. Few months back, actually, insurance companies were not giving reimbursement for peritoneal dialysis. And that is why those who were insured patients would never go to PD and pay from their pocket, rather go to hemodialysis and get it reimbursed from the insurance company. But luckily, with the effort of Peritoneal Dialysis Society of India and the giants of PD like Dr. Gupta and Dr. Abraham, insurance company has started reimbursing PD as well. So now this reason is not a strong reason why person should not go into peritoneal dialysis. Economic condition, again, it falls into reimbursement category. But let me tell you here that maintenance hemodialysis 3 times a week and CAPD, or continuous ambulatory peritoneal dialysis, the monthly cost of both modalities are same. Then there are other factors which also determines the modality, which are social and educational level. So I'm not going into details of this, but then ultimately patient is the person who decides, after knowing about all these modalities, what is best for him or her. So coming to my second part, how does peritoneal dialysis work? So this you are all very clear about. There's an access, whether this is AV fistula or AV graft or tunneled catheter. So blood comes out through a pump, goes into the filter, and then returns via the other needle or the other tube. So this you are aware, so no need to highlight more about this. And what happens in peritoneal dialysis, we have got God-gifted peritoneal membrane, which works as a semi-permeable membrane, very equivalent to hemodialyzer membrane. So what happens, this is the catheter which needs to be instilled into the abdominal cavity. And I'll tell you what is the process of removal of toxins and fluids. So we all know, you all know, in hemodialysis also what we do is we remove toxins, number one, and number two, we remove fluids. So how does it happen in peritoneal dialysis? Let's consider this dotted line as peritoneal membrane. So when somebody instills dialysis fluid into the abdomen, the other side is blood, which is there in blood vessels. And because of the increased vascularity in peritoneal membrane, they may come in contact separated by this semi-permeable membrane. And what will happen, like in hemodialysis also, there is diffusion, which means movement of particulate matter from higher concentration to lower concentration. So what happens is in blood, there are toxins, for example, urea creatinine we measure. There are other waste products which we do not even measure. There are certain electrolytes we want to get rid of, like potassium. And there are other drug metabolites also which we want to get rid of. In dialysate, there is a source of bicarb, because you know that our patients are acidotic. We need to replace bicarb so that they are not acidotic. So either lactate or bicarb. And there are calcium and some other minerals also which needs to be transferred into the blood or into the patient. So when this blood comes in contact with dialysate separated by semi-permeable membrane, all these are in higher concentration in blood. And what happens is they all get transferred into the dialysis solution. And once they are transferred into the dialysis solution, they are removed. When you remove, I'll show you how you remove the dialysis in peritoneal dialysis. And all those wanted materials, which was lower on the blood side, like lactate, bicarbonate, calcium, moves into the blood compartment. Right? That was about toxin removal. What about the water removal? In hemodialysis, it's very easy. You just set up into the machine the ultrafiltration rate or ultrafiltration required over 2, 3, or 4 hours, and a machine will do because of hydrostatic pressure. In peritoneal dialysis, this is a little different. So in peritoneal dialysis, ultrafiltration occurs because of process of osmosis. And what is osmosis? Osmosis is movement of fluid or water from lower concentration to higher concentration. That means you have to provide an osmotic agent into the PD fluid. And there are different types of osmotic agents. The commonest one is glucose. So peritoneal dialysis fluid contains glucose in the strength of 2.5% or 1.5% or 4.25%. And depending upon the strength, it will draw water from the blood into the dialysis compartment or in the abdominal compartment, from where it can be discarded. So this is how dialysis works. So if you see, this is the catheter, right? This is a dialysate bag which is filled with dialysis solution. When you unclamp this catheter, this solution will go into the abdominal cavity or the belly. Once it is empty, you can disconnect. Patient can move around. He can go to the business. He can go to office. He can go to work. He can go to the hospital. He can go to school, whatever is required. And after a certain period of time, which again decided by the doctor, he has to reconnect and drain out this spent dialysate or the waste containing dialysate back into the bag and refill with a fresh solution. This is the process of peritoneal dialysis. Very simple. Even uneducated people in villages are doing this. Number one, they have compulsion because they cannot travel long distance for hemodialysis, which is not available in villages. And it's a very easy system. This can be done manually, as I showed just now, or it can be done by automated machines as well. The advantage of automated machine is you do not have to do it during daytime. You just hook up in the night and the machine will take care of the entire dialysis process 3 or 4 times during night, and morning the patient is totally free for rest of the day and can carry on with their work. So that was about second part. Coming to third part, which dialysis is better? So you also, as a technologist or dialysis service provider, may have this question. Why people are going to hemodialysis so much? Is it better dialysis? The question is actually no, absolutely no. And I'll give you some reasons. Number one, Peritoneal dialysis is done 24 hours a day, 7 days, like our kidneys work. Our kidneys work 24/7. They do not work alternate day like hemodialysis or twice a week like hemodialysis. They work 24 hours, all 7 days. Similarly, peritoneal dialysis also work 24 hours, 7 days, and that is why it is called more physiological. There is no ups and downs so much, and that is why you will appreciate or you will understand why hemodialysis patients after dialysis feel very low for the entire day. वो जाके बोलेंगे कि मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, आई गो बैक होम एंड मैं सो जाता हूँ. This is because of sudden yo-yo phenomenon from very high creatinine and fluid status. In 4 hours, you have depleted everything. Body has to acclimatize. उसको adjust करना पड़ता है, right? So that is why PD is more physiological. It has more freedom as well. So as I said, especially with the APD, the entire day is free. They don't have to go every alternate day for 4 hours to the dialysis center, which will compromise their work, whether they are working at home as a housewife or they are working in office. So it has more freedom. Even if they have to travel outstation or they have to travel abroad, peritoneal dialysis gives them more freedom. It is especially suitable for children. You know that children, there are so many issues. For example, getting a dialyzer of adequate size, getting a tubing, getting an access also, sometimes very difficult. So PD is definitely more suitable in children. It is good for cardiac patients. You must have witnessed many patients, especially cardiac patients, they have fluctuations in blood pressure during hemodialysis. Some of these patients have poor cardiac status and they drop their blood pressure below 100. You are not able to do ultrafiltration. Sometimes you have to stop hemodialysis prematurely and they are under dialyzed. So these kind of patients also peritoneal dialysis is very suitable. In fact, what I would say, in unselective patients, unbiased status, both are equal and similar. There is similar survival whether you go for peritoneal or hemodialysis. There are certain more goods as well. It is good for patients with access problems. You must have seen, we have many patients, at least 10 to 20% of patients who have access problems. It is good for those patients. It has better outcome with PD niche. And there are studies which have showed that patients who start peritoneal dialysis in first 2 years, their survival is better than hemodialysis. So it is good that they start with PD and later on they may go into hemodialysis if they want to. The idea of residual renal function is very important in both hemo and peritoneal dialysis. So those who have got longer residual renal function, their survival is better. But unfortunately in hemodialysis, the residual renal function drops faster, and in peritoneal dialysis, they can carry on till 2 years. So that way also PD is better. Some patients have contraindication for anticoagulants, and doing all the time heparin-free hemodialysis, though it is possible, it damages the dialyzer very soon, and their adequacy of dialysis also gets compromised. So those who do not require, or there is a contraindication for anticoagulant, in such patients also peritoneal dialysis is better. Now, considering some people ask me, they are going to go for renal transplant subsequently. So is it good to go for PD or hemodialysis? So long-term outcome of kidney transplant in both hemo and peritoneal is same. In fact, it has been seen that those who are on hemodialysis, there is prolonged delayed graft function as compared to peritoneal. So there are certain advantages in peritoneal dialysis, even if that patient wants to go for renal transplant later on. Okay, so that was my third part. So what I wanted to convey is peritoneal dialysis in certain aspects is better, and in most of the aspects is similar. So ये तो बोल नहीं सकते कि peritoneal dialysis is inferior. जो बहुत लोगों की ये एक तरह की धारणा है, it's a myth कि PD is a second form of treatment. That is not correct. But then question comes, why hemodialysis is preferred? I'll give you an example why. I'll give you certain reasons why hemodialysis is preferred. One is medical reason, other is non-medical reason. For medical reason, let's see if there is an acute severe emergency. If there is a patient who has come with profound pulmonary edema, severe hyperkalemia, severe metabolic acidosis, ऐसा नहीं है कि we cannot manage this with peritoneal dialysis, but it is going to take a little longer time. And in hemodialysis, you can quickly take care of pulmonary edema, hyperkalemia, and severe metabolic acidosis. And आप सब जानते हैं कि in India, we have many patients, more than 50% of patients who start dialysis unplanned. आप बोलते हैं, nephrologists बोलते हैं, पीडी कैथेटर डाल के रखो, बट दे डोंट लिसन, और या फिस्टुला करके रखो, दे डोंट लिसन। वो वेट करते रहेंगे एंड फाइनली दे कम टू इमरजेंसी विद वन ऑफ दीस कॉम्प्लिकेशन। ऐसे कंडीशन में डेफिनेटली आई थिंक हीमोडायलिसिस हैज सर्टेन एडवांटेज ओवर पेरिटोनियल डायलिसिस। ये एक कारण है। और एक बार हीमोडायलिसिस शुरू किया, वंस दे हैव स्टार्टेड हीमोडायलिसिस, दे हैव गॉट द नैक ऑफ इट, एक्सपीरियंस हो गया, तो कई बार वो बोलते हैं कि नहीं, वी विल कंटिन्यू विद हीमोडायलिसिस ओनली। ये एक कारण है। अदर नॉन मेडिकल रीजन इज ईज ऑफ स्टार्टिंग। अभी इस तरह के पेशेंट आप देखोगे मोस्टली रात में आते हैं, दे कम इन द नाइट टू द इमरजेंसी। Now in emergency when they come, even anesthesia resident or ICU resident who are very compliant with putting in a central line, बड़े आराम से hemodialysis line डाल देते हैं, but peritoneal dialysis का उनको experience कम है, they are not experienced as much PD कैथेटर डालने का। उसके लिए नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट को आना पड़ेगा, सर्जन को आना पड़ेगा, तो सर्जन और नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट बोलेंगे जाओ हीमोडायलिसिस कर लो। And there is a very important reason, centers where residents can put in PD catheter, PD take is much higher than hemodialysis. Number two, अब करते करते आप ही देख लो, as you can see in the entire core program there is only one PD session. हम सब हीमोडायलिसिस इतने वेल वर्ड्स हैं और अवेयर है इस प्रोसीडियर को, तो आंख बंद करके हीमोडायलिसिस बोलते हैं, which is not correct. So we have to change our thoughts. जैसा मैंने बोला, इसमें धारणा भी गलत बनी हुई है। पहले के फिजिशियंस जो हैं उनको ये धारणा है कि पेरिटोनियल डायलिसिस में इन्फेक्शन बहुत ज्यादा होती है, which is not correct. Actually, if you see US data, अगर अमेरिकन डेटा आप देखोगे तो ओवरऑल नंबर ऑफ इन्फेक्शंस आर मच हायर इन हीमोडायलिसिस एज कंपेयर टू पेरिटोनियल। डिफरेंस ये है कि पेरिटोनियल डायलिसिस में पेरिटोनाइटिस होती है, हीमोडायलिसिस में निमोनिया और सेप्टिसीमिया और एक्सेस इन्फेक्शंस होते हैं। और दूसरी बात है कि कई बार जो एक्सेस प्रॉब्लम होती है उसके लिए हीमोडायलिसिस में कॉल्स कम आते हैं, क्योंकि आप रेट कम कर देते हो ब्लड फ्लो की, 4 घंटे की जगह 3 घंटे कर देते हो। बट पीडी में वो व्हाट हैपेंस इज समटाइम्स द फ्लो इधर इनफ्लो जा ही नहीं रहा है या आउटफ्लो आ नहीं रहा है, तो इसमें बैक कॉल्स बहुत आते हैं। इसके लिए भी बहुत नेफ्रोलॉजिस्ट दे डोंट वांट, दे वांट अ कंफर्टेबल लाइफ, दे डोंट वांट टू प्रैक्टिस पेरिटोनियल डायलिसिस, बट दीज आर सम नॉन मेडिकल रीजंस। और ये सारे स्मॉल रीजंस है व्हिच आर नॉट इंपॉर्टेंट रीजंस टू से दैट पीडी दे शुड नॉट प्रैक्टिस। So last part मेरा है why PD first is a better alternative, why we should see this. So another 4 or 5 slides, in another 3-4 minutes I'll finish off my talk, and then I would request Dr. Gupta and Dr. Abraham to make their comments. So initial consideration, सबसे पहले अगर पेशेंट आपके पास आता है तो सबसे पहले क्या देखना चाहिए कि does patient have a medical contraindication to PD or HD? PD के contraindication क्या है? अगर पेरिटोनियल फंक्शन डाउटफुल रहेगा, क्योंकि पहले बहुत सारे सर्जरीज हो चुके हैं एब्डोमिनल, कोई मैकेनिकल डिफेक्ट्स दिख रहा है और वो पेशेंट खुद एक्सचेंज या उसके रिलेटिव को एक्सचेंज कर ही नहीं सकते, ऐसी स्थिति में यू डोंट हैव एन ऑल्टरनेटिव, द पेशेंट शुड गो टू हीमोडायलिसिस। बट इसी तरह से हीमोडायलिसिस में अगर कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशन है कि बहुत सिग्निफिकेंट हार्ट डिजीज है, एक्सेस की इश्यूज है और कोई हाइपर सेंसिटिविटी है टुवर्ड्स द डायलिसिस सर्किट, तो फिर उनको हीमोडायलिसिस ऑफर नहीं करना चाहिए, उसको स्ट्रेट अवे पीडी के लिए ऑफर करना चाहिए। अगर ये दोनों कॉन्ट्राइंडिकेशन नहीं है, जो मोस्ट ऑफ द पेशेंट में नहीं रहते, तो आफ्टर एक्सप्लेनिंग अबाउट ऑल द मोडालिटीज हीमो, पीडी एंड ट्रांसप्लांट, उसकी प्रेफरेंस पूछनी चाहिए, व्हाट इज देयर प्रेफरेंस, एंड एज पर देयर प्रेफरेंस वी शुड इनिशिएट डायलिसिस वेदर हीमो और पेरिटोनियल। इफ द डायलिसिस इज अर्जेंटली रिक्वायर्ड, एज आई मेंशन्ड, तो अनप्लान्ड है तो यू कैन गो फॉर एपीडी प्रोवाइडेड देयर आर नो एक्यूट इमरजेंसीज, बट इफ देयर इज एन एक्यूट इमरजेंसी तो फिर हीमोडायलिसिस इज अ बेटर ऑप्शन। If the patient is pediatric less than 16 years, then APD, automated PD should be preferred. If the patient has strong preference to maintain an independent lifestyle, वो हॉस्पिटल नहीं आना है, 4 घंटे 2 घंटे ट्रैवल नहीं करना है, then again they should go for peritoneal dialysis. If they have significant cardiac comorbidity and you're scared of any cardiac event during dialysis, they should also go for peritoneal dialysis. If the patient is employed or working at home or housewife and they are going to miss their employment, then again they should go for peritoneal dialysis, because APD can be done at night, the whole day they can work in their office. If the patient has got residual renal function, then also initially they should go for peritoneal dialysis. And if the patient wants to stay home for their treatment, तो या तो उनको peritoneal dialysis के लिए जाना चाहिए या home hemodialysis, another alternative, आजकल बहुत सारे patients कर रहे हैं, that also option should be given to the patient. If the patient has got significant comorbidities, खास करके diabetes, तो यहाँ ध्यान देने वाली बात है, one should pay attention. If the patient is young, less than 45 years, they should go for peritoneal. But if the patient is older diabetic, तो यहाँ पे hemodialysis should be preferred. If the patient is willing to travel for long distances and not willing to travel to long distances and sit in the dialysis unit for 4 to 5 hours, तो फिर peritoneal dialysis करनी चाहिए. If the patient has caregiver or he can do peritoneal dialysis himself, then peritoneal dialysis should be preferred. And my last slide or penultimate slide, economics के लिए भी ध्यान देना चाहिए. अगर पेशेंट को मैंने बताया कि peritoneal dialysis और hemodialysis सेम है, तो there are advantages like peritoneal dialysis में आप घर पे रह रहे हो, आपको कोई ट्रैवल का एक्सपेंस नहीं लग रहा, तो ये सब कंसिडर करते हुए भी आपको पीडी को ध्यान देना चाहिए. Institutional policy, some patients, some centers may not have PD facility. They don't want to PD. Yeah, I'm wrapping up. So they should also prefer institutional practice. तो आप देखिए इतने सारे सिनेरियो में what I have highlighted is almost all category of patients we can offer PD as first. It is our mindset and habit not to consider peritoneal dialysis in the first go, and that is why PD is less prevalent in our country. So to summarize my last slide, except for acute medical emergency, PD first is more feasible and better suited modality for renal replacement therapy with certain advantages which I have already highlighted. Options should be discussed and patient choice should be considered. जैसा मैंने पहले बताया, कई बार nephrologist उसको तीनों option ही नहीं देते कि there are options of PD, there are options of transplant as well. The outcome of PD and hemodialysis is similar, तो ये मन में मत रखिए कि PD is inferior choice. And मैंने flow diagram में आपको decision making बताया, which was approved by Peritoneal Dialysis Society of India under guidance of Dr. Georgie Abraham and Dr. Amit Gupta. And this should be followed. ये लगा के रखना चाहिए OPD में, and accordingly patient should be managed. So with this, I hand over to both the chairpersons for their esteemed comment. Thank you, sir.